So today we will be testing out gyros, and the goal is to find out, is it really worth to pay more for the gyro, or is it just a hype and we are pretty much paying for the brand names? Okay, so as a beginner drifter, I will give you my honest opinion. Am I really even feel any difference between them? And if so, then which one feels different and which one feels kind of best for me? Okay, now I will start with the most budget-friendly one. So this would be the MST MGX gyro, which is this one here, only one in a plastic body. It does the job, it is adjustable, so I cannot really complain, you know, it has been working great. So now next one in price-wise will be this AGFRC gyro, which comes from AGFRC company, which is biggest one on the market, which is making most out of the gyros out there, and not only for their own company, but also for other brands, okay? So that is why it's well worth to take a look on this one. Then the next one we will have OMG version 3 gyro, which is this one here. Some say that it's almost as good as Yokomo version 4 gyro, so this would be the most expensive here and the most recommended one so far, okay? So is there really will be difference? That's what we will find out. Now where it's coming to the servo, we will be using MST SC0352 digital servo. Again, originally made by company Savox, big company which is making servos. You can find exact number from the Savox as well as a replacement for this one. Some say they are bad. I don't really see anything bad with it. I think it's more like a user error where they kill it and then they say that it's bad. So for me it has been working great. I have no complaints about it. So yeah. Now before we get to the testing, let me show you one more thing. So I have this drift car here, and you will see that this gyro here is also MGX gyro from MST. So two MGX gyros, same name, completely different gyros as you can see from the looks. Why companies does that they are confusing people putting the same name for two different kind of devices? I have no idea. So they are from kind of programming and all the rest of the things, they are almost the same, but there is one big difference. So first of all, this is older model, which you can find the manual on MST website for it. For this newer one, you cannot find any manuals, they are not providing anything. But the biggest difference between them is that the older model had a possibility that I can switch manually from digital and analog signal input. Where the newer ones, what they does, they are actually automatically detects the signal from the receiver and then will be using either digital or analog signal, okay, to control your servo. So that's the biggest difference. Again, just for your awareness, you know, if you will be looking for MST MGX gyro, know that there are two different ones under the same name. So for this specific gyro, I have already video where I set the endpoints, so we know how to adjust it, all the things. Where it's coming to rest of the gyros, I never really tried them out, so I will be as well, of course, when I will be changing them, I will be setting the endpoints. So all that will be covered in this video, so if you are after one of those specific gyros, there will be something for you as well. So now let's get to the testing and see if there is difference, and if so, which one is the best of them. Okay, so we will start with this MST MGX gyro, which I have installed on a car, so I have been using it for a while. I know all ins and outs for it, and I know exactly, you know, how it performs. So we will be doing testing today in two different options. So I will be roughly using 50% of the gain for the gyro and see how that performs at 50. And then we will put up to 100% to see as well how it performs at 100%. Why it's important, why I want to test those two values, because normally it's going to be something in between when you are adjusting the gain for your gyro. And in many cases 100% will be simply too much, because gyro will try to correct your steering too much, and you will notice that the wheels in the front are wobbling. And again, like I said, the reasons, we will deep dive for that later. Now, before we start, so what normally we can do is the gyros, okay? So when you are installing the gyro on a car, what you need to do, you need to set your endpoints, left and right side, and only then you can fully kind of use your gyro. If you're not gonna do that, you can hurt your servo, because it maybe will be going too far, you know, or not working properly. There is also something known as that you can reset those endpoints. So none of the manuals nowhere says that should you do that reset specifically, or can you just simply overwrite. As a software developer myself, at some point I would say that you are fine just going and overwriting previous values. So without need to reset endpoints, you just go and overwrite the new ones. But again, we have this kind of reset functionality here. But yeah, should you do it before each time you are setting new endpoints? It does not really say, okay? Now, next one, what we will notice as well in most of the gyros, that we can switch between two modes, which one would be normal mode and another will be AVSC, or known as well as assist mode, where you will notice that a return of the wheels to the neutral position will happen slower than it is in a normal mode. So that assist mode will be more for really beginner drivers, maybe for a kid's good. But normally, if you are getting into this hobby, you want to go as everybody else is going. So most likely you will be using normal mode and you will learn to control your car that way, okay? Then the next thing after that one, what else we can do? If you are installed the gyro and it's controlling your wheels in wrong direction, we can but we can revert this direction from the gyro itself. And then the last bit what we can do, we can control as well the gain of the gyro, how much it will be kind of overwriting our inputs and actually controlling the steering. So that normally happens from 0 to 100%. You have this range, where you can set that up. Like I said, your normal range will be between 50 and 100. It really depends of your gyro location. If you will put it more in the front, which is not a great idea, you will need more gain. If you will put it more on the back, just because back is the one which is sliding out and controlling our steering, you most likely will be able to use less gain, because now it's more sensitive on this. It's farther away from the center axis where the actual car is kind of turning, okay? Also, what matters is when it's coming to the gain, why there is no one specific value you can set and good to go, because it's also, of course, depends of your servo horn length, your steering overall, your parameters of the wheel alignment and all that stuff. And also it will affect in the area. So currently I'm in a very small area. That is why I don't really looking to turn my gyro up high, because what's happening, the higher it goes, like I said, the more it will be overwriting your controls, and the harder it's gonna be make a tight turns, because gyro will try to correct it all the time and keep car going straight, okay? So that is why there is no one specific parameter I would recommend to everybody set. But like I said, the range most likely will be something between 50 and 100, okay? Now, you have two options, so we can control gyro from the gyro itself. If we do not have advanced enough remote controller where we have 3 channels, and specifically third channel should be able as well to control the gain, okay? Because there could be as well remote with the third channel, but it's just a switch on off. That's not gonna work. But if we have remote controller with this third channel, then we will plug it into the third channel, and now instead of controlling gain from the gyro itself, we can do it now from the remote. Okay, so those are basic functionalities which you will find in every single gyro on the market, and that's how it's kind of work, and that's how much you can actually do with it, okay? Now, let's put this car on the floor. I will start with 50% and then I will increase to 100%, and you will see, I hope you will see, I'm not gonna put the body on as well, so you can see how the front wheels are actually acting, Sometimes it's very hard to see from the camera exactly how the car performing. You will need to probably trust on my saying more, what I'm feeling as a driver, how the car is acting when we will be switching through different gyros. MST MGX gyro, 50% gain. So fairly easy to control the car. It drives where I want it to go. I can make small turns. The wheels in the front sometimes slightly maybe might wobble, but nothing to worry about. And that's the 50%. Now let's go to 100%. And this is now 100%. So first of all, you can see already front wheel wobble, but it's also very, very hard to make tight turns, corners. So very, very hard to control the car, because all at once it just goes straight. In theory, I can put it in a drift, but almost no control over the car at all. So that's too much, and that's what we don't want. Now let's switch to next gyro and see how that performs. Okay, so next gyro which we will be putting in is AGFRC gyro. In the package we will find instruction manual, which is nicely illustrated in English and Chinese if you prefer. So it takes you through all the things we can adjust and how the LEDs are actually acting and performing, what means what color and blinks and stuff like that. And it also touches the section about the input signal modes, so PWM frequency. This is something we will be talking in a different video, because I will be making a series of the gyros, because I cannot put all this information in one video. There is so much actually involved, which you will be maybe surprised as well to find out later down the road. So also Futaba S-Bus, what that does, you know, how you then need to connect your gyro. So a lot of information, you know, we will be discovering in those videos here. So apart from the manual, of course, we will get a gyro itself, nice aluminium body, with very big and proud made in China. So I can tell you honestly that all of the gyros we are using today, they all are made in China. Surprise, surprise. Small screwdriver, which is meant to be to adjust manually gain from the gyro itself. And then a set of stickers, which we can use if we want. But apparently there is no double-sided tape, which we could use, you know, to stick our gyro to the chassis. Now, what I'm normally using is this M3 double-sided tape here. I will be honest with you, in these days it's very hard to find the good stuff locally. So that is why I'm most of the time ordering things from the origin country, which in this case, of course, it's China. And yeah, either there is no locally good stuff, which you can find, because there are alternatives for double-sided tapes, but they are just bad. They are come loose with the time, so having a good stuff, you know, in your bag is a way to go, definitely. Okay, now I will put this gyro in, and I will be back where we will be setting the endpoints. Okay, so that's AGFRC gyro is now in. First thing what we need to do is we will turn on the remote controller, and we will turn on the car to see if it's actually working, everything. So steering is working, but now you can see that how slowly it comes back. This means that we are not in a normal mode. Also the red light represents, so how to switch from AVCS mode to normal mode is that when it's in operation now, we need to press twice quickly the mode button, 1, 2, and we are now on a green light, which means that we are now in normal mode. So yeah, now you can see if I'm turning, it turns back quickly. Now let's switch off the car, and we will now set endpoints. So make sure nothing is messing around. So to do that, remote controller is on. Now I will press the button and turn on the car. The lights start blink. Now we're in the programming. Now what I need to do, I need to turn it one direction first and press the button. Blinks twice, let it go. Turn all the way other way. Press again. Blink twice, let it go. Blink quickly, and now it's good to go already. So if I will now pick up the rear and try to move, you can see that the gyro is already does the job. I do not need to reverse it because it's already in a correct way adjusting. So from there we are pretty much now good to go. So one more thing what we can test is I can go quickly to my endpoint. Let's go to channel 3, which is currently sitting at 60%. If I will turn it down to 0, the gyro is not working, as you can see, which is correct. It means that I am now controlling the gyro from the remote controller itself. That also means that the light is solid green. If it would be blinking, that would mean that we are controlling manually. If it's solid green, that means that we are controlling from the third channel. So, okay, let's put it now back to 50% and let's put it on the floor and see how it goes. Okay, so AGFRC gyro, 50% gain. I can control the car, no issues. Seems like it has the same small wobble what I had with the MST gyro, but again nothing serious and does not really affect so much. Now let's go to 100% and see if we have any difference at 100. So 100%. Yeah, same problem, we cannot make really a turn. Wheels are wobbling exactly the same as it was with yeah. So no difference here. What I will do, I will now behind camera try to drive a little bit more, play with the percentage, but as a first sight I don't feel any difference between the MST and this gyro. They both are exactly the same. So the next gyro which we will be trying out is OMG version 3 gyro. This will be the smallest and the lightest gyro out of all of them. But lightest only for one reason, because this gyro, like any other gyros, the wires are not coming out from the gyro itself, but we have just the ports where we are plugging in the wires. And now if I will probably weight this with wires, it's gonna be in the same range as any other gyro. When it's coming to functionality, I printed out instructions as well for this one. So when it's coming to wiring, it might be a little bit more confusing for the beginners how to set everything up. I think it's much easier from those gyros where the wires are already coming out, but still doable. Now when it's coming actually to functionality as well, this would be the most basic gyro out of all of them, because first of all it does not have this AVSC or so-called assist mode. So it has only one mode, which is normal mode, and we are really after that. So having extra functionality in those gyros, which we initially not gonna use at all anyways. So kind of, you know, lacking features, but not really, because if we are not using something, why would we need that functionality, right? So apart from that, setting up the endpoints and everything else will be exactly the same. So let me put this in and we will get to the setting endpoints. Okay, so OMG version 3 gyro is in. One thing I really don't like about it is the wiring position, because you can see if you are after nice clean setup, you won't be able to achieve it, at least where the gyro is sitting now, because you have two wires going that way where we have receiver, and one wire goes back where we have our servo. So yeah, if you're after a clean setup, then probably gyro needs to be hidden somewhere far away. But then again, it's gonna be hard to reach it if you need to reset the endpoints and stuff like that. So not great from that perspective, but let's see how it performs actually in a floor. And so to do that, let's first check if it's actually working, everything. So light comes on. Steering is working, but something fishy is going on. Sometimes don't want to come back. Okay, so let's do that. Let's switch it off. And let's reset the endpoints. So I will press and hold the button on the gyro and turn it on till the light starts blink. Now it's in programming mode, so let's turn it one way. Well, there is already something fishy going on. You see? And I can see that also my servo is making strange noises. So something is not right with this specific gyro, and it's not the servo issue, but the gyro for sure. So let's try one more time. I will switch it off. So the reset of the endpoints should be if I'm pressing and holding button for 3 seconds. So pressing and holding, let's turn on. 1, 2, 3, let go. That should reset the endpoints, and now I should be able to start setting endpoints again. So still the same, you can see. Okay, let's imagine that's one side, blinks. Let's turn it other way. Again, it's not going full way, and it's sticking somewhere. So you see, and some strange noises time to time coming from the servo, which means that apparently we won't be able to test this specific gyro, at least with not this specific servo, and probably rest of the radio system. Okay, so that brings us to the last gyro, which is Yokomo version 4. Let's put that in and let's see how that works. Okay, so Yokomo version 4, what we have in the packaging, we have some instructions here inside, which is in Chinese or Japanese, who knows. And then we have just a paper which is English instructions, and that's about it there. So we already right away noticing that we will have a couple more things to adjust on this specific gyro than it was on the rest of them. Then in the package, of course, we will get the gyro itself, which dimensions wise is exactly the same as it was for the AGFRC. The wires are maybe slightly longer, but that's that. And the same small screwdriver if you want to adjust the gain from the gyro itself. So that's there, no stickers, nothing. So from the packaging wise, the AGFRC was giving at least some stickers as well. So a little bit nicer, you know, benefit also. The manual was better quality print than this plain paper here. But okay, we are not after goodies, we are after the gyros, and that's what we are getting. So I will now install this in and then we will set it up. Okay, so Yokomo version 4 gyro is finally in. This is the most recommended on the market, and I can see probably why. They definitely took extra mile with this specific gyro where it's coming to functionality. So what I'm noticing here, that on this manual it says dual system, and on my gyro it already says quad system. So marketing in a full power. Now what does this mean is that first of all we have two physical switches. First one is responsible for normal and reverse of the control of the gyro inputs. Then the next one will be normal or assist mode, or in this case this is probably AVSC and normal mode. So that's there, and then we have the gyro gain input itself, where we can turn now from 0 to minus 100% and from 0 to plus 100%. So now, for example, if I'm going plus 50%, that would probably go in a soft mode. And if I go minus 50%, again, half of the input, that's gonna be a hard mode. So there is soft and hard mode depending which way I'm going, you know, when I'm adjusting the gyro. And that's different from the rest of the gyros because none of them have this kind of functionality built in. Now, if we count together, so we have normal and assist mode and gyro position in hard and soft. So that all together is 4, and that's where the quad system most likely comes from. Apart from that, everything else looks the same. So now let's just turn on and see which way our gyro is working, if we need to do a correction. So yes, we need to switch to reverse. Okay. Okay, now gyro is not working. Let's switch it off. Turn back on again. And yeah, now gyro is working properly. Now let's do that. Let's switch it off. And let's go to setting endpoints mode. So button here, pressing again and turn on. Interesting again that my servo is buzzing. Okay. Well, I have again exactly the same issues as I had with this OMG gyro, and it could be that thanks to this guy we probably killed the gyro, the servo. It seems like that. Well, there is only one way how to test it out. Okay, so what I will do, I will put now different, not the different, I will put original MST MGX gyro in and see if my servo is working correctly. If no, then we are clear that we just killed our servo, and yeah, our experiment will need to be putted and done on different servo. Okay, so MST MGX gyro is back in. Let's see if we killed our servo or no. This seems to be working just fine. I don't know, everything looks fine. So I can assume in that case that Yokomo V4 and OMG version 3, both of those gyros do not like this digital servo here, or my radio system. In theory, on a paper, they should be working. There shouldn't be any issues. But why it's not working? Maybe one day we will figure it out. So let me put this down on the floor. I will try it out just to make sure 100% that it's working. But yeah, I think that's where our testing will end today. Okay, so as you can see, steering is working just fine. No issues with that. And car is still drifting as well as it was before, so we didn't kill our servo, which is good. Okay, trying to test 4 different gyros on this specific car. This specific setup, as you can see, didn't work out as expected, so it's just what it is, you know. That is why you never really can predict what's gonna happen. Anyways, I'm happy that the servo is still working fine, no issues with that one. We didn't kill it, but it definitely was way to go and kill it, and that's how definitely most of the guys are killing it, and then saying that that's a bad servo, don't buy it, it's bad. No, it's not the servo in this case. This was me who put the gyro in, and it was buzzing, it was not working properly, and if you just ignoring and keep going, that's where you burn it out and you are done. Okay, so now why it was not working with those 2 gyros is interesting fact. I do not have answer yet, because technically on a paper looking, everything was spot on, everything should be working in my specific setup, you know. But what was causing the issue, that's what we will figure out in the next video. The next video, what I wanted to do, test out 4 different gyros with this specific servo, and on the next video I wanted to try out this RevD RSST servo, which again is one of the most recommended servos on the market. I bet it's good, it's programmable, you know, that's what I'm going after at the end of the day. But yeah, I just wanted to see, you know, how it works as well with cheaper servos. But apparently, you see, we had issues. Now, what we will be doing in the next video, I'm not giving up with this one. In the next video, we will dive deeper and see what is actually involved from the technical perspective when we are looking at the gyro servos, you know, all that stuff, because there is much more involved. So I think that's going to be interesting for you as well, and educating you as well, same way as me, you know. I'm learning all this stuff as well as I'm going, and I noticed already a couple things, you know, which are interesting, and that is why we are making this series here. Nobody really talks about that, you know. Everybody just says, "Whoa, that's bad, don't buy," and that's it. That's not working with me. I need to try out and figure out, you know, what's exactly happening and why. So, we will try in the next video to make those 2 gyros work with this specific servo. If we will succeed, we'll see. If no, then that's fine with me, you know. We will move on, you know, and try different things. But yeah, we will take a look on those details. So that's it for today, where it's coming to testing things. Now let's recap what we learned so far. So I was still able to test 2 gyros out. So MST MGX gyro, which originally I have on this car, and the AGFRC gyro. So they both was working, they was working fine. On the first moment when I put it in AGFRC gyro, it felt exactly the same as this one. But then after testing it a little bit more off the camera, what I noticed is that when you turn it on 100%, both of them was acting exactly the same. But what I did notice is that around 50 and going up, you know, towards 100%, the AGFRC servo is actually softer to corrections and everything where it's coming comparing with this MGX. So I definitely felt the difference. So it's kind of good, because with that AGFRC gyro you can kind of increase more percent. I was even at some point up to 85%, and it still was drivable, where this would be correcting already like crazy, you know, and wheels would be wobbling. So that was a little bit softer. How it's achieved, I would guess, you know, that you can build a curve. And if you will build a curve which is not straight line, that from 50 to 100% you have straight line, but a curve, then what's going to happen is that while you are going up in the curve, you can increase more percent, and it will be acting as less percent on this specific gyro. And then when you are approaching already 100, it's gonna be every single percent will be gaining more and more. So apart from that, I think there is no really big difference how they are acting and how the car is driving. It just comes down to percentage, you know how much percent you can turn on. I think that if you will go with MST MGX or AGFRC gyro, you're not gonna go wrong with any of them. They both are working good, does the job. And yeah, so let's see what the next video will bring in. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao.